Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
That's a roll call.
Yeah. Who does the roll call?
You do the roll call?
You can do the roll
I
call?
can do it.
Okay.
Chairman Roth,
Here.
Ms. Tully,
Here.
was it Supervisor Aliaga, excuse me.
Here, no problem.
Member Verhey, not present, and Member Smith, not present, but we do have a quorum.
Okay.
Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance.
Yep.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I don't think we have any minutes to approve.
No.
We'll go down to, we'll pass presentations because Jason will give his report about the Walden Center intersection update. And now you need to ask if there's any public comment.
Public comment, if anybody here. Not seeing any. Review of agenda. Any agenda additions or deletions require? We have a motion to approve the agenda. Yes, do we need that?
I second the motion.
Jose first, I'll second.
Yeah, okay.
So Jose made a motion, I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. Financial matters, is that you, Mr. Carl?
I can get into that under the annual report,
Okay,
if that's okay.
yep.
Okay.
Reports, resolutions and recommendations, Walden Center
Yeah.
intersection update.
Jason?
All right, good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Do I have the ability to share a screen? I do. All right. So we've been working with the engineer for the Walden Village project to design and develop the traffic signal and all the intersection improvements for the Walden Center intersection. As you're all aware, the township and Nowak and Frous are responsible for the design of the paving improvements on the south half of that intersection, along with the signalization for the full intersection. So what I'm sharing here, and we can just scroll through briefly, is a set of the plans that we will be issuing for bids, going out to contractors here over the winter for what we anticipate to be construction beginning next spring. So this first sheet here is the topographic survey of the existing conditions. Again, we got Walden Road here running east-west across the screen, and then Walden Center extending to the south. On the top of the screen, you can see the proposed right-of-way for the Walden Village project, with the bump out here being to accommodate some of the signalization that we'll see on the next pages. Here's a demolition plan indicating the scope of the existing conditions that will be removed or, in the case of the roadway, milled and capped. And then here's the proposed geometry for the new intersection. So we'll be widening Walden Center by one lane, creating a center left turn lane, and then we'll have a northbound and southbound lane there. The intersection will receive crosswalks at all four corners, stop bars, pavement striping, and then obviously the new signals and pedestrian crossings.
Jason?
Yep.
You might want to mention that some of the modifications have been made so that it aligns with the extension of Walden Center Drive in the Walden Village project.
Yeah. So what you can see here on the top of the screen is the dash line work for the proposed improvements that'll be going with the Walden Village project. Again, we've been coordinating closely with their engineers, going back and forth so that we have roadway widths and back of curb and everything are going to align perfectly with their I guess it'd be the phase 4 plans that are under construction right now. So everything's been set up to coordinate with that. And then, like I mentioned, that project has been asked by the road commission to dedicate some additional right-of-way to encompass the signals that'll be located on the north side of the intersection there. And then what I can do here, lastly, we'll give you a brief look. There's a second set of plans that show the actual signalization and the improvements for that. So let me share a different window. Okay, so here is the permit set of plans that were issued to the road commission for review and approval for all of the new signal improvements. What you can see, so we'll be installing new poles at all 4 corners of the intersection with push buttons at all of the 4 sidewalk crossings. And then the geometry here for all of the different lane movements and everything is identified there. Again, these have been coordinated with the plans for the development to the north. We have received review comments from the road commission. We've had some back and forth with them. They are currently reviewing these signal plans one last time. So we expect their final approval here any moment now. So once we have that, we'll be comfortable to package everything up and get it out for bids as we go through the winter season. We've also met with DTE on site. There's an existing overhead utility line that runs along the south side of the roadway here. We have had to make a few adjustments to the design to accommodate that existing overhead, just to make sure that we're adhering to all of DTE's clearance requirements. And then their service planners for DTE have also initiated the process to provide power to this, all of the new signals and pedestrian crossings, so that our contractor will be able to work with them to coordinate those activities once they're brought on board. And then with that, maybe I can turn it back to go over any questions or comments you might have on the plans or the process up to this point.
Did you say anything about the pedestrian crossings, Jason? Did I miss anything here?
Yeah, so we'll be installing crossings at all 4 corners of the intersection. So both sides of the intersection on Walden and both sides on Walden Center will have striped crosswalks and pedestrian signals.
Hi, Jason, it's Bob Roth. Do you have to push the buttons in order to signal for it to cross the walk?
Yeah, there will be a push button there at the handicap ramp, and then that will, obviously it'll continue. Once it's been pushed once, it will continue on. But it will not, I don't believe it will be on at all times. It'll be utilized by the push buttons.
So you have to push the button to activate it?
Yep, correct.
Why do they do that and not just make it, go with the light?
To be always on.
Yeah.
I can reach out to our signal designer to find out what the protocol or the standard is there, but my understanding is that it will be button operated.
Okay.
Well, one of the reasons, I mean, isn't it also isn't the activation also for people with certain disabilities, so that there's
a audio and visual recognition for those, correct? Yeah, it will be activated with the stoplight for traffic. The push button won't alter the intersection timing. It will just activate the pedestrian crossing amenities.
Right. I just know in downtown Clarkston, I'm not sure which way it is now, but it was, you had to push the button, and so people would just stand there and the light's green and it's not telling them to walk. So then they changed it to, it just comes on, but people still push it, but it's already gonna work.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I will. I'll confirm that.
I'm not trying to design the system, I just was questioning.
everybody else does.
Yeah.
So Jason, how's that going to work with those 3 lights and that short distance?
So there, and that's something that the road commission has been working closely with the traffic signal designer on, is to coordinate the timing of those signals to maintain the flow of traffic as best as possible through there, so that the signals to our east and our west, the timing is going to be all coordinated with this one, so that we can move people through as quickly as possible there without causing a delay.
So I don't have to leave home early to get there?
Not until we add a bunch more cars to the roadway, right?
Okay, does anybody have any other questions about it, or?
No, just, I mean, just to comment further, the advance for this project has already been, had already been approved by the township board 2 years ago, I believe. When we get into the financial report, I can talk a little bit more about that. That the township board actually has some options to consider in that regard because of the fund balance that currently exists. So we can get into that in a minute here.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you want to do next, the annual report?
Sure.
Okay.
Mhm. Well, it's just our, my canned annual report that we sent out to the taxing jurisdictions, just to report the progress, as well as to the township board. Obviously, we're winding down with the CIA. Once this project is complete, that's the last project that will be done, and now the balance of the CIA is just to monitor the money, the tax increment money that comes in and is being paid out to the township for paying off the bond payments that the CIA is obligated to reimburse the township for road improvements. The tax captures have been actually, have actually increased. I mean, we are ahead of where our original projections were, and that's a result of a couple of things. One, having amended the plan several years ago to take out a couple of properties that were a drag, this was one of them. And two is obviously now we're starting to see the benefit of the new development that has occurred. And it'll even be increased when, for example, Walden Village gets built out. You'll see the full benefit of the Monarch? Yeah, Monarch, okay. The Monarch project, full benefit of that on the rolls next year because it's now becoming fully occupied. So from the financial standpoint, the CIA is in excellent shape. When I sent out this report, Chairman had a question for me about the expenditures. Well, that's really to reimburse the bond payments. And then there probably is some incidental expenses, some of the consultants' work, maybe legal work or whatever, but predominantly the bond payments you are obligated by agreement to use TIF revenues to reimburse the township. So it's what's necessary to make that year's bond payment is what comes out of the TIF. But having said that, because of the increase in revenues that have been collected over the last several years, there is actually a fund balance now in the CIA of something in the neighborhood of $400,000. And in talking to Mr. Yeager, who's the township budget director, I said, is it possible that, that the board would not have to advance that money? Well, it turns out that the board already did advance that money, the money for the light, and it was put into the CIA account. So that fund balance is partly a result of that money being in there. So I wanted to explain that part of my report. But if the revenues continue to exceed the bond payments, then, the board will have to make a decision to, the township board is to accelerate the principal payments on the bond so that they can be paid off early, which is a possibility, generally a good thing. So that's really where the state of the finances are. So all in all, everything is in, excellent shape at this point.
Thank you. What would be done with the additional funds? Like if the, when everything gets ramped up and we start, this is our last project, the traffic
Yeah.
light, what would happen with the additional funds?
By law, they have to be dispersed to the taxing jurisdictions on a percentage basis of their.
Back to the taxing?
Correct.
Right.
So that includes the
Yeah.
township.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
township, in other words, let's say we get to the end and there's $500,000 in excess money, then that's divided proportionately between the taxing jurisdictions and returned back to them. But the other possibility with all of this is, and I don't, this gets into ultimately a legal question. If we pay off the bonds well in advance of that and all the obligations of the CIA have been met, then you might just be able to end the capture at that point, and then that simplifies the return of the excess funds.
Right.
So, all in all, this has been a very successful endeavor on the part of the township.
Right.
And hopefully it should serve as a model for the DDA to do similar things with Dixie Highway, although the challenges there, I think, are a little bit, it's a little bit more challenging with some of the things that have to be done. So, but that's it.
Dick, are we still looking at doing something out on the grounds here in front of the building?
That's been the plan. I think there's still, there are still some decisions that the township board is in needing to make and wanting to make regarding the space needs of this building. But the board did authorize a plan has been in the preparation stages by Jim Epic and Jason's firm to prepare, park plans for the excess property. So that all will have to be decided by the township board when all of the studies are in about the space needs here and the trade-offs of wanting to keep that as some open space to tie into the town center idea, and or a combination of both. But yes, that's still in the works.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that it seems like a little center now with all the activity right in this area,
It is.
where we've just always been kind of just streets,
Well, and there's some other things that are part of that area out there, like the Veterans Memorial, the memorial that's out there, and and it would tie. You're exactly right, and it's what people, the public said to us during the public hearings for Walden Village that this. You promised a town center, and this is our town center, but this could be the real focal point of it. So yes.
Thank you.
I think that's it.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay. Any other comments?
No, this is my first, just my first CI meeting. Very, thank you, Julie, for your work. Thank you, Bob. Yes.
All right. Motion to adjourn?
Just one other quick point. We will probably be on
Fake me
an
out.
abbreviated schedule next year too.
Okay.
Unless there's, there will be might be some decisions early on in January with the bidding of the light, but I'm not sure about if the board's approval will be needed for that. But, we're sort of in a maintenance stage right at this point. So
That's good.
we'll try not to take up too much of your time.
I just have a question for you, Dick, that's all, since we're here. As you know, we are working to get the new logo for the township. And we were talking about in the DDA that we would like to have some signage for Dixie Highway. That's
Mhm.
gonna say, signage with a new logo saying, "Welcome to Independence Township," and another one saying, "Thanks for visiting Independence Township," back and forth. And I was looking to see if maybe we can do the same thing for Sashabaw. Is something that we need to work with the CIA too, or this is something different?
Well, it's possible, because, I mean, I don't think we could use any other taxing jurisdiction money for that, because it's not part of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
But you could certainly use your own portions of your own capture, and I don't think we're talking about huge expenditure
No,
dollars.
it's not. Yeah.
So that is certainly something, especially with the dollars that are being generated here, the boards, meaning you, Township Board and the CIA Board, could agree to devote a portion of those additional funds, limited to what you are capturing to that particular effort. So, yeah, absolutely.
For those signs, okay, thank
Yep.
you, Dave. That's-
I think this has been really such a successful project, every piece of it. And so we need to have the newspaper write it up so people will know about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's now or if it's later after the light gets in, or,
I think that would be a worthwhile thing to do, and obviously I'd be happy to do it, and we'll get a really good quote from Bob, who's been involved from the very beginning, right? Were you chair to begin with?
No, Forrest.
Forrest was, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah, sorry, but I didn't mention this, but there's Laura Haynes, she's sitting there, she's our new PR director for the whole township. She already developed a nice, we have a.
Good, that's better, even better.
Yeah, I mean, she's right there, and then actually she's working now, we have a Facebook page for Independence Township, and any updates, what's going on in the township, she has been daily, sometimes hourly, every hour, update of what's going on in the township, what we're doing. She's here, or any updates that you suggest, maybe after the meeting, you guys can meet with her, and anything that you can share, we're happy to, put it to the public as well.
agree.
Thank you.
I just think the public should know about it,
Well,
realize
and I
what's
think the
happening.
other really important part, and this is obviously something that, I know Bob is aware of, but, and the CIA, this organization leveraged a lot of other money to complete these projects, from the state, from the county, and privately, to complete these improvements. So it wasn't just tax increment dollars. That's what makes these kind of things successful. This is what I'm trying to convince the DDA of, is you use this as seed money to leverage other sources of money. And these organizations that do that are the successful ones.
Thank you. All right, a motion to adjourn,
So move.
second? I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.
All righty.
Thank you.